Mr. Jemiah, I'm ready for my
Tear it down. Because there's money. It's always
So I just learned something.
Mhm.
I just learned that you're on the list as one of the people who can advise on the various tax credits and incentives. So please inform us about that, because anybody out there who's thinking about doing a renovation or new construction, especially renovation more than anything, like what's available. Like, so can you kind of fill us in a little on what
I'm
that
going to give
means for
you
you?
a quick and dirty 101 version of historic preservation tax credits
Okay.
in Louisiana. So, yeah, the state has a list of qualified consultants. I'm
Okay.
on that list. Historic preservation tax credits. Think about it for an income producing property. So let's say you have a historic property. There's a 3-part process. One is the building eligible. It's likely eligible for 2 reasons. One, it's individually listed on the National Register of Historic Places.
Yeah.
2, you're a historic building that is over 50 years old and you're in a historic neighborhood.
So for example, correct me if I'm wrong, I heard that Pontchartrain Park got to the historic list. Is that true?
The district,
Yeah.
it's funny that it's like I set you up for this. So, Pontchartrain Park, there is a historic district.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was working at Campo, I'm the one who actually applied to have Ballard University included in that historic district. So
Okay.
it was always, it's been a historic district for a while,
Yeah.
and all the way up until Ballard University is actually included in
Wow,
that historic.
okay.
It's actually a cultural district, I believe, which also lets you, arts and cultural district,
Yeah.
which also lets you take advantage of the state historic preservation tax credits.
Okay.
So it's a 3-part process. One says, is the building eligible? So you file that, you can file that with the part 2. The part 2 says, I'm going to do this in accordance with the Secretary of Interior guidelines for rehabilitation.
Okay.
What that just means is, you have an old building, you say, well, there's graffiti on this brick in the French Quarter. I'm just gonna pressure wash it with some acid or whatever solution, and then I'm gonna put new windows in there. They say, hold on, let's look at one, can you even pressure wash it? So if you think about brick,
Yeah.
that French Quarter brick and mortar is softer. So they're gonna tell you how strong of a PSI you can use on that brick.
And PSI is
Also-
pressure.
Pressure. Thank
Kind
you.
of pressure.
They're also going to tell you, hey, you actually can't use a wire bristle brush. You actually have to use a soft bristle brush. Say that again. Soft bristle brush. That's just an example of the brick. Then
Okay.
windows and doors are very important. So they're going to look at how are you restoring this building. And the main thing they want to do is they want to bring a building back into commerce while also maintaining the architectural character defining features.
Okay.
So if you have an old bank building in the French Quarter, you're not just going to lower the ceilings and do a lot of modern things.
Yeah.
You want to keep the overall architectural character. So the preservation consultant, a lot of them are architects, are going to guide you through how to renovate this building correctly. And part 3 says, okay, after we said we're going to do this, so that we did exactly what we said we're going to do.
Okay.
And that's it. And then, so that's the 3 steps. Why would you do it? Seems like you're adding a lot of costs, whether you just renovate this building or tear it down, because there's money. It's always the incentive. We talked about cost, scope, and schedule. Here's the cost part. In the state of Louisiana, there is a 25% tax credit from the state and 20% on top of that from the federal. Why is that so important? A lot of times people say write something off and it reduces. This is a dollar for dollar reduction in the amount of taxes you have to pay.
Yeah.
So think about it. If that's 45%, if there was $100,000, now you have $45,000, and that's a reduction in the amount of taxes you have to pay. You can carry that forward a few years.
Yeah.
Long story short, it's great. And then what you do is get a tax credit partner for this. They call it selling your tax credits, but you have a tax credit partner
Yeah.
that may pay you X cents on the dollar for those tax credits.
Yes, so say that again, because I want people to understand that. So if you have the tax credits and you personally don't need it, there is a way of selling them
Right.
to others. So it becomes kind of a product that you can then earn additional.
And as an architect, I always like to tell you what I'm good at and where my info stops.
Yeah,
I'm good at telling you that you need a tax credit accountant.
exactly.
Because they're gonna audit everything and they're gonna tell you so much more, and they're gonna make sure that you're not leaving anything on the table as well. So they're gonna tell you, oh, okay, this is eligible, this isn't eligible. So you don't just have an architect. You usually have an architect that, in best edition, is a historic tax credit consultant.
Yeah,
And then you have an attorney that does the deal, and then you have a tax credit accountant that does the audit and makes sure you're not leaving any money on the table. That everybody on that team is worth their weight in gold
yeah,
to make sure you do things correctly. And after you do it correctly once, you're gonna say, why wasn't I doing this on every project?
absolutely.
Right.
And I want to encourage everybody, because Michael has already taught us several things today about how to build a home according to what you want and remain on budget, how to how an architect is useful in helping you plan for investment or renovation. He's open to doing consultations, so if you've got something that you're thinking about, hit up an architect before you really get deep into it, so that way you can make sure that you go about it the right way. So once again, as we close, can you please tell everyone how can they reach you?
Sure. First of all, you can call me. I'm a solopreneur, so there's not many people to go through. You're talking directly to me. So you can call me at 504-475-4514. And the company is I Need an Architect. And you can go to ineedanarchitect.com. And hopefully you'll send them also a link to me.
Absolutely.
This will be on LinkedIn. And they can catch me with a lot of posts on LinkedIn and Instagram. ineedanarchitect.com, or my name is Michael Ballard. So, yeah.
Yeah, and make sure you guys check him out, because he's shared some of the recent projects that he's worked on his page, and I absolutely love it. I'm a fan of historic architecture, so that most recent one that you started sharing, I was just fascinated. I'm excited to see, once it is actually finished, what you guys do with it. So be sure to look up Michael and see his work there on LinkedIn. And once again, I'm Jessica Bordelon, Realtor with Berkshire Hathaway in New Orleans.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.